Hi again. Welcome back to Integrating Desmos Techniques into the Geometry Classroom. Your presenters are Jessica Clairvoy, Megan Julian, and Kenya Whitney. This professional development is supported by a Secondary Mathematics Professional Development Center at Radford University with funding from the Virginia Department of Education through the Mathematics and Science Partnership Grant Program. Our goal today and our learning intention is the hope that you'll be able to create an assignment using the Desmos application concerning the SOL G.3b, which is slopes and parallel lines and perpendicular lines. I know I understand when I'm able to successfully create a new assignment in Desmos using a different geometry SOL standard. Our homework and our challenge for you is that you would create your own assignment afterwards and share it with us. So here's some other SOL standards that we've selected. These are also power standards for Hampton City Schools geometry. So that could be two lines intersected by transversal parallel lines, as well as congruent triangles and right triangles. So let's get started. First step is you need to go to desmos.com. Once you're here, and at any time during the presentation, if you feel the need to stop, pause, or to go back, please feel free to do so. So once you go to desmos.com, then you go down here to the bottom where it says teacher.desmos.com, and you click on Classroom Activities. Please make sure you sign in so you can save your activities, you can share them with other teachers. All right, after you're here, you want to go to the left side where it says Customs. Under Your Activities, click on Custom. Next, you want to go under where it says Custom Activities, go to the right side, and it should say New Activity. New Activity. Click that. So let's give our activity a name. So this activity is going to be filled with a lot of different variety of things for students to use to show their mastery of a subject. So we're just going to call this parallel and perpendicular slope practice. And I'm going to insert the date. And next, click Start Building. And it lands you here. So first, you want to tell the students what they are going to do. This is the very first slide. This is the first thing they're going to see. So we're first going to start off with a card sort. So in order to get there, let's just go ahead and give it a title first. Card sort, and give the students instructions. You can say find the match for each card. So let's go over some tools. So here's your graphing tool. Here's the table tool if you would like to insert a table into one of your cards. Sketch for the students. This will allow the students to draw on whatever picture or graph you give them. Media is to insert a picture or video. And note is to give instructions to the students. Usually input is student responses. And choices are like multiple choice or select all that apply. And here's our last option, which is card sort. And we're going to use that one. So in SOL G.3b, there are lots of different things. So we're going to start with the very basics. Something they should know. Parallel lines. So I clicked on this math or text. And once you click on it, boom, the text card should come up. And then you can type in your first topic. So we're going to do parallel lines. And we're going to create also the card that matches it. So next you can go to graph. And then here it says click to add a graph, and then down here it says describe this graph for students who are visually impaired. So for description, you could say hint, lines that never intersect. So click on the graph. We're going to actually add this graph in here. So first you go off to the left side. This is where you input your functions. So I will input y equals, let's do 3x. for our first function, and then we want to a line that's parallel to that one. So we could do y equals 3x plus 4. Now, two things that you can keep in mind. You can always zoom in for the students. If you click this tool right here, the graph settings tool, that allows you to take off the minor grid lines if you want to make it clear for students, or to keep them on. It's all up to you. Next, or to take away certain axes for the students, whichever you feel benefits the needs of your students or the grid in general. All right. That's the projector mode or not. And if you're done with this one, if it looks okay to you and you're comfortable with it, I would hit done. And voila, we have our first match. Let's keep rolling. Click on math or text, and then next let's do perpendicular. So we're only asking the students to match the text perpendicular lines with the graph of two perpendicular lines. Yet again, I'm going to leave them a hint. Lines that intersect to form 90-degree angles. Next, you want to click to add a graph. Now let's input two functions that are perpendicular to one another. Here we go. All right, so yet again, you can zoom in for your students, slide, and you can click done. There we go. All right, so we have two graphs, two matches. I would suggest to do more than two matches because it'll be very easy, very simple to match. So sometimes give the students a little challenge. So one thing, just add a couple of more before you submit. So I'm going to show you a couple that I decided to use. So let's do the slope formula. Here's something new. So I did my text card, but I'm actually going to insert an image this time. So I clicked on image, and then the image card came up. So what I'm actually going to do is search. I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm actually going to search the slope formula and look for an image of it. You could also type it out in the function, the input part, but I actually wanted to get something that looks easy on the eyes. So I like this one here, this one right here. I'm actually going to screenshot. So depending on whichever type of electronic device you have, your screenshot will be different. So I'm on a MacBook, so I'm going to click Command-Shift-4. And as you can see, I have a target now for my cursor, and I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner of whatever picture I would like, drag till I get to the other end, and then let it go. And you should hear kind of a shutter sound. That lets you know you captured the picture. All right, and then let me find that picture on my desktop. So I'm going to slide over, scroll my screen over, and I see it here. That is the picture of the slope formula. Let's go back to Desmos. So I have the slope formula text card. Now I need the image. You could add the picture by dragging it here or clicking to upload. I'm actually going to drag it, so I won't have to search for it. So you just go to your desktop, select the picture, and you drag it and drop it directly into the box like that, like so. And there we have it. You could have also done that with the parallel and perpendicular lines, but I wanted to show you the graph tool. So there we go. And we will select the matches in a second. So right now you have not made an answer key. We are just creating the cards, and then we'll create the answer key once we finish. All right, last two, so I can show you how to do something different. Here we go. So let's do parallel slopes this time. That's going to be our next card. All right, so we're actually going to do another text card, and we're actually going to describe to the students, give them example of what that would look like. So we could say the slope of line H is, and you can click on this function tab here, and it lets you insert functions. So we could say the slope of line H is M2. The slope of line W is, click on the function tab again, m is equal to 2, therefore, the lines have, you could leave an underline, slopes. Or how else you would like to identify that for your students. All right, or you could say their relationship would be what? However you would like to put it. All right, let's go to our last one. I'm going to do perpendicular. Perpendicular slopes, we're going to actually insert another text box. Here we go. The slope of line H is, click on the function tab yet again, m is equal to 9/4. The slope of line W is, click on the function tab again, m is equal to -4/9. Therefore, the lines have blank slopes. All right, so we've created our cards. Let's keep rolling. So next part, you want to create the answer key. So select the answer key tab here. And you want to match them so that students know, well, you know, and the students will know which ones are right once they see the answers. So like here, slope formula would be this one. And this is exactly how the students will have to match theirs. So perpendicular lines, an example would be here. Move this one down. So parallel slopes would be here. And parallel lines is there. And then perpendicular slopes would be there. And you click done when you finish. And that is your answer key. It's created. Let's go down to our next screen now. Right here where it said add new screen. All right, we're going to title this one, how can you determine if these lines are parallel? So we actually want to display for them a graph of two parallel lines, and then we're going to ask them to respond. So let's first incorporate our graph. So let's just input two functions that are parallel. So here we go, two parallel lines. All right, once you're done, we want to actually create a note for the students. So I already know what note I wanted to tell them. So please respond with at least one or more complete sentences. And then we want to add a student input box. So this tells the students what to do. So they have to respond, not by giving you the answer, but just not by answering numerically, but asking them what's the strategy they would use. So then they will answer here. And if you want to see what this will look like on the student end, you can always click preview. So they have the question at the top, you have your graphs down there, you have the note that you left, and this is where the students will share. Let me go back one so you can see the card sort. This is how the card sort would look for the students. Now, back to slide 2. The other option at the bottom says show students their classmates' responses. They will be able to see their classmates' responses after they've shared theirs. So it won't be initially at the beginning, it'll be after they've shared. Okay. And the student's answer box. You can make this a function answer box or a text. So since this is a math class, I would definitely click the function box. And you could ask the students to explain. Let's preview. Yep, so this is what it would look like for the students. There we go. All right, let's move on to our third slide. We're going to have a total of 8 slides. I just want to make sure you guys know how to use all the great tools and that you can create this on your own time if you would like to. So next we can say, how can you determine if these lines are perpendicular? Same setup. We are going to click the graph tool. Let me click out just in case someone missed it. That was kind of fast. So click the graph tool. Next, insert in the input box 2 perpendicular lines. There we go. All right, once you've done that, you want to incorporate your note. You want to leave them a hint maybe, or tell them, give them directions, further directions. And then maybe you want to, the student response. That's a good one. There you go. So you can ask students to explain their answer, show their classroom responses. So students will be able to see these graphs. They will not be able to manipulate them. So the only thing they'll be able to do on these screens that I'm showing you right now are only to input their answers. All right, so we have 3 slides complete already. Let's keep rolling. Here's slide number 4. So we will have students find the slope of both lines to verify that they are parallel. So here we will allow the students to actually work on, to sketch kind of what we're going to have them here. So let's click on sketch. And then once we hear it says try customizing the background, students will be able to sketch below. So let's click background, and we actually want to put in a graph. So we want them to use a graph, and we actually want them to manipulate it. So let's insert some functions for them to work with. So let's do same kind of ones we've been working with. Let me see, y equals 3x minus 1, and then maybe you want to do y is equal to 3x plus 1. Please forgive me. All right, or plus 6. Done there. All right, so now students are actually able to draw and manipulate on the picture, but we want a final answer. So you can have your students draw on the picture and give you the final answer, or you could actually put a box at the very bottom, input. So if you click on input, now they can give you a mathematical response. So you want to click the math function tab if you want them to input answers. You can click the text tab so they can type maybe if they would like, if you want them to. And it's up to you to ask students to show, or if you don't want them to, see their other classmates' responses, because they can go back and edit it. So it's up to you. All right, yep. So find the slope of both lines to verify that they are parallel. We have our graph. Then we have the student input part. And if you want to leave a note for them, you can. Let's preview what a student be able to do. So here's our student view. So the students will be able to manipulate the graph. Here's some tools that students can use. So they have their pencil that allows them to draw, and they can change the color for their pencil. The students will also be able to kind of create line segments like so, and to erase what they create as well. But they won't be able to erase the functions that you've put in place. They'll be able to go back and to undo some of their mistakes. And to clear it completely. Yep, there we go. All right, and the students will be able to input their answer, whether it be 4 or whatever they like to type. Let's see. So we're on slide 4. We're halfway done. Let's keep going so I can show you the other awesome features that Desmos has to offer. So that is our sketch for the students. You can go here to this in the lower left-hand corner and click on the plus. That plus allows us to add another screen. So here we go. Next one. Given the points 0, 1, and 1, 3 are on line W, can you draw a line perpendicular to line W using point 54? All right. So we're here. And so all we want the students is to draw. So this is where you would need to sketch again, right? So you click on sketch. We want to manipulate the background yet again. So you're going to click on background. Next, you want to incorporate a graph. And you want to edit the graph, so select the graph. All right, so here, let's actually incorporate that point. The point we had suggested was 5, 4. You literally type it in. You can label it. And like we mentioned earlier, you can make it larger if you would like to. And you can move the point around. Maybe you want the point below it or to the right of it. It's up to you. I'm going to put it above. All right, let's click on the second tab. Next, we're going to implement the function for it. So the function for those 2 points, which is 0, 1, and 1 and 3, you could also type those points in and let the students connect that, make that connection, whatever you'd like to do. It's up to you, but I'm going to give them that line. So let's see, the function for that line is y is equal to 2x plus 1. Yep. And as you can see, they already highlighted this point here. And if you wanted to do another point, where's the other point that we wanted? 1 and 3. You can have it here to label 1, 3. Make sure that one's labeled. And the other one would be 0, 1. Make sure that one's labeled. There we go. So hit done. Voila. Here's your preview. Students see that the line is connected. They're trying to create a parallel line. Maybe they want to demonstrate to you rise over run for some reason. So they may try to show you how they would do it. They can use their line segment to demonstrate them creating another line. I did a bad job, but that is a possible option. There we go. All right. Let's keep the ball rolling. Here we go. Slide 6. So here's something that we haven't seen yet, and I'm excited about showing you. So let's determine which 2 equations have parallel slopes. So first, for this one, we would want to have a note for our students to give them directions. So we can say lines that are parallel share the same slope. This is one area I know for my students, they struggle a lot with determining the difference between parallel and perpendicular slopes when seeing them in the y equals mx plus b format, or just when it's not completely solved for y. So this is a good question to give students, whether it will be review or just initial practice. So you can give that hint to the students. Say, so lines that are parallel share the same slope. Hint, solve each equation for y. Put the equation in y equals mx plus b form. Next, let's do something new. So now we're going to click on choice. So I believe choice is the only thing we haven't used. We didn't use table a lot yet because we just couldn't use it for this activity. But we're going to go to choice. And we're actually going to go to the bottom. And where it says multiple choice, we actually want to do the multi-select. Okay? So we're going to do multi-select because there's more than one option for how we're going to set it up. So you click on the first part, and we actually want to input an equation. So go to your function tab over here to the right, and let's input y equals 4/3 x plus 1. That'll be our first equation. Next, let's input another one. Go to the right, click on your function tab, y equals 4x minus 5. And last but not least, let's incorporate a third one. Y equals 4/3 x. Oh, I forgot my function tab. 1 second. Click on my add option, function tab. Y equals 4/3 x plus 9/3, like so. Now you want to select the correct answers for the students. So this one is talking about parallel, so our answers would be the very first and the very last one. They do give you the option to incorporate a graph or image. So that's pretty cool too. So when you do the select all that apply, you're not just limited to incorporating functions. which is great. Yes, I would like to randomize my choices for some of my students. All right, so these are your options. What it would look like, here's your preview. Let's see. So we have the question. We see that they already randomized it for us, and they told the students to select all that apply. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's do 2 more. Let's go to our next slide. So, determine which 2 equations have perpendicular slopes. All right, so we're going to go make our note first. I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to copy, because this is the same kind of note almost. I'm going to go to our note here and I'm going to paste it. The only thing that's different would be our first part. So lines. Lines that have perpendicular slopes Lines that have perpendicular slopes are opposite reciprocals. All right, we have our hint. Let's do our choices. So we clicked on choice. At the bottom, you see it's already explained, but we don't want the students to explain. We want them to select all that apply. Here we go. So let's go to the right function tab. Y is equal to -1/2 x plus 1. First option. Let's go to option 2. Click on the function tab. Y is equal to 2x minus 5. Third option. Click on the function tab. Y is equal to 1/2 x plus 9/3. There we have it. And let's select the answer choices that are perpendicular to one another. That'll be that one and that one. You can click the box at the bottom. Yes, I want to randomize my choices here at the bottom. And if you had a graph or image you wanted to input, you can do that as well. All right. And we are off to our last slide. Go to the bottom, click on the add slide button. All right. So we're actually going to kind of repeat some things we stated here. It's the exact same hint note we left for them, but we're going to change the title this time. We're going to say which equations have parallel slopes. All right, let's add our note. Let's paste. And let's do the choice once again. Multi-select. And let's input functions. So this one will be a little, a step up a little bit. Minus y equals 8. 3x minus y equals 8. Let's do option 2. Y equals, whoa, my bad, I forgot my function tab yet again. There we go. Y equals 3x plus 1. And lastly, click on the function tab on the right. Negative 3x plus y equals 3/2. All right, so we want to select our parallel answers, which would be this one and this one here. Randomize our choices, and we are good to go. All right, so we've done that. We are rolling. We have all 8 slides complete. Feel free to preview, to go back and make sure everything looks like how you would like it to look. So you can see everything that the students are going to see, how they might input their answers. And we're going to see that in a second. So we actually have to go back. So, all right, we've finished everything. Here at the light bulb, you can add a tip for teachers who, are teaching this, or maybe they give them some direction. So we're going to hit next. We have our title. You can make this public or you cannot. You can add an image here if you would like to. Which I'm going to do that because we have an image ready to go. So I'm going to actually drag the slope formula image. There we go. And you can add activity description if you would like to. And if you're done, click done. All right, and here we go. This is our activity. So if you wanted to create this to make it available to your students, you just click create class code. And as you saw, it just popped right up. Here's your class code, number of students, the date, and you can view your dashboard. Here's what the student link. So you click on the three dots if you want to display your student link. Then it tells the students what the website is and the class code immediately, or you can just share the link down here at the bottom. All right, let me show you one that's completed and what you can do from the student perspective. I mean, with watching the students on their side. So here's one that's kind of been manipulated. Let's look on view dashboard right here. Same activity, just a different class. So as soon as you open the dashboard, here we go. We have the website again for the students and the class code. You click the X. And if you realize here, these names look a little funny, but that's because the anonymous tool's on, where you can anonymize the students. Here are our real students, but when you click anonymous, the students don't know who's who, which is cool. Because you can display this on the board just to see student progress. And here's another tool for pacing. Maybe you only want to keep all of the students between a couple of slides. Maybe you see that they're struggling on one and you want all the students to focus. You can click on, like, say, for instance, 3, and you might want to restrict it only to 3 and 6, you know, so they can only work on those ones. So they can focus, or maybe you have them turn and talk with another student and then discuss these ones before moving forward to the last slides. All right, or you could cancel your restriction when you're done. Yep, there you go. Or you can pause. Say, for instance, you guys are having a discussion or something, maybe something happened where you guys need to leave the room, come back and revisit this. Then you can pause or unpause that as well. All right, so let's see what else we can do. We can click on each individual slide to see how far the students have come. So here's the card sort, student responses. Click on the overview like that. You can see what it looks like, the most common incorrect cards. The ones that was mostly missed. It says show more. They can show you everything that they selected for that first card. All right, here we go. So responses. All right, click on the next slide. This one tells you the student responses that they have. Yep. Student responses, no overlay. All right, so find the slope. Here are your student responses here. This little camera means that you can take a snapshot. And we're going to do that in just a second of student work. Here you can see some students tried. Margie needs a little help, but the rest are, yep. So we're going to see, and Francis. But yeah, so you can see the students' work. And this is what they look like on top of each other. So these are all 3 student samples overlaid on top of each other, which is pretty cool. Kind of lets you know, which students kind of have it, which students kind of tried a little bit. Then here you can see the student responses for the select all that apply that we had. Tells you which students answered what. All right, so here's some more tabs. So here you still have the class code. Here's the snapshot option I was mentioning earlier. So you can go through and it'll let you take snapshots of different students' work. And it allows you to discuss the students' work with the students, like with the whole class. So to ask the students a question or to present it to others. Maybe you want to save it for later. So if we would go back here, so like you click on this, see, snapshot captured. And then when you go to your snapshots, her response is there. You can create kind of a profile of students' snapshots like that, yep. And when you click play, you can present it to the class. Might be a drawing. So I could take this one, insert, and I may want to present that to the class just to show them what you're looking for or what's a good example. All right, here is back to the tab. So we have our summary. You guys have seen that one. It shows you, checks that the students have stopped, have they answered it, yes or no. Just the teacher lists the descriptions for the responses and students. So what the student view looks like at that time. All right, let me see. Am I missing anything else? You guys know how to assign a class code, view the dashboard, summary, screenshots, use the anonymous feature. Okay, so I guess my challenge for you guys would be to create your own now. So if you feel the need, if you want to, you can do it. And if you guys have any questions or you need some help or you want to see a different video, please contact myself, Jessica Clairvoy, or Megan Julian for help. My name is Kenya Whitney, and I am happy to that you've sat through and you've learned a couple of things. So let me know if you have any questions. Please email me. Have a great day. Thank you.